Oh, snap. Hi, everybody. It's Shelly. Here I am again doing another video on reselling. As you can see, my little mess behind me, which that's all inventory that I'm selling. I hang up the special stuff, and then the rest of the stuff gets thrown in bins or hampers. Anyhow, I love that there's just like always one person watching me. Or maybe that's just YouTube being nice. Who knows? Anyways, hi. I'm going to talk about customer service today, being a reseller and having good customer service and what that means and how to deal with unhappy buyers. Sometimes you just have to cut your losses and move on. Sometimes you can work with them. Just depends. So I'll just give you a little example of something that just happened to me last week. I sold a pair of shoes. They were little kitten heel shoes. They were really cute. And when I was listing them, I just glanced at the size that was a little bit rubbed off on the inside of the shoe. And it looked like a size 5 to me. So I listed it as size 5, didn't think anything of it, didn't look in the other shoe, just saw a 5, put 5 on the listing, never checked it. You know, it's always a good idea that when you're packing your things to check for the size and check for holes and all that, because even though you've already handled the item a couple times or several times or whatever, you can still miss stuff like that. Do we always do it? Obviously not, because this one got away from me. So she gets the shoes size 6. So I looked at her Poshmark profile or about me or whatever. She was pretty new to Poshmark, and I'm assuming to being a buyer of used or reclaimed clothing and shoes. So anyways, she gets a size 6 because they were really size 6, because when I glanced at the half rubbed off number, I just saw a 5, and that's what I listed them at. She got them, put them on, realized they were way too big because she wanted a 5, not a 6, and looked at the size and was a size 6. So most nice people would just be like, she opened a claim, which was totally fine. You can open a claim on Poshmark for something like that because obviously she didn't get what she paid for. I totally understand. I have no issue with that. I made the mistake. My fault. I'll deal with it, whatever. But I do want the shoes back because I can still resell them. And I know it's a pain in the butt for her, but whatever. So she says, these aren't the right size. I want a refund immediately. I didn't order this size. You know, I can tell there's just, even though it's text and it's writing, you can tell there's a bit of an attitude. So my response is, oh no, I am so sorry. I must have misread that when I listed the item. I will gladly take a return and refund her money, right? Okay, if you sell on Poshmark, and whether you do or not, the thing with Poshmark is they hold the money until the buyer approves the product when they get it, or there's 3 days that have gone by after the item's been delivered through tracking. So she could get it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll get paid if she doesn't leave a review or, you know, a rating or whatever. But when she got them back, she noticed they were the wrong size, so she puts in a complaint basically, and she wants to return the shoes. I say, I will gladly take the return. Her response is, I'm not going to pay for these to be sent back. And I get it, like, she's upset, okay? I refuse to pay for these to get sent back. You're going to have to send me a label, and I need to get refunded immediately. And I said, okay, well, this is Poshmark. I have no control over the money because they haven't paid me yet. So when Poshmark sees this, that I've obviously made the mistake, and I responded as if, because I did, they will probably send you a label and refund you. She writes back, well, I'm not returning these until I get a refund. So I just leave it alone because Poshmark, their return system will handle it. But she's just being like, I'm being very apologetic and understanding, and she's just not getting it. Now, okay, so how I handled that was, I was just like, you know what? She's just like, I'm trying to be nice and she's just being kind of rude. So I don't really like rude people in my life. So as soon as I got the shoes back, when I got back, the a bunch of the trim was all like rubbed off. They'd obviously been worn because the bottoms, they were like tried on new without tag kind of condition, and there was like little rocks and stuff stuck in the bottom of them. Like she'd worn them and then didn't like them, so she's sending them back, which was kind of irritating, but whatever. Like, I'm not gonna fight that. It's Poshmark. These shoes have been marked down to like $10 because I'd had them for a while. So after I got them back, she got a refund from Poshmark. I blocked her as a buyer because I'm not going to deal with that. Like, I was nice to you. You sent me back, and there was like tape inside the box, and the tape was stuck to the shoes, and it wasn't even like the same tissue paper that I sent them in. It was bizarre. It was kind of weird. Anyways, I just blocked her and moved on. Like, and I'm just took the shoes to Goodwill because they're kind of ruined now. So I could have gone back and just been like just as nasty as her, but I used to get like take it personal, and you just really can't. In this business, you can't take it personal. When someone gets a sweater with a hole in it, you have to investigate. Like, for instance, I just sold these two little, they were Party Light, which is a candle. Hi, Bird, I see you. They were Party Light, which is this like direct sales candle company, and they were these two little candle holders, and they had like colors all over them and like flowers and stuff. And they were for like little tea lights, to like set out on your shelf or your mantle or whatever. And they were super cute, and I'd had them for a while, and I took her an offer on them, and I sent them to her. And I thought I'd packed them really good. Well, I hadn't, because one of them broke in shipping. So she opened a case on Poshmark because she had a broken, and she was super sweet. She was just like, one of these broke. I would really appreciate a refund. I would be glad to return them. So I just wrote back and said, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I'd packed those better. You can just go ahead and keep them and get a refund from Poshmark. And so when Poshmark saw that, they said they just close. What they'll do is they'll just cancel the order, so it looks like it never even happened, and then she gets her money back, and I don't get the money, and she gets to keep the product, because the other one was great. And she wrote me back and I think it was like on the listing or whatever, and said, thank you so much. I will definitely use the other one. I really appreciate you allowing me to get my refund. That's a beautiful interaction to me. Like, I don't know, beautiful is the word, but that's just like perfect. Like, I should have packed them better. The United States Postal Service threw them around. I don't know if they played basketball with the package, but whatever. Should have packed them better. Should have paid more attention. One of them got broken. So there. She got to keep the one that wasn't broken. She got to get her money back. I'm out of it, but that's where you have to cut your losses and just move on. You are in business, and you have to make people happy. And if you're not making people happy, then eventually, and this is just comes, I talk about the law of attraction in a lot of my other videos. When you put niceness out, niceness comes back to you. And when I get that bitterness back, I just block them. I've done it on eBay for years. When I get people that are just nasty, or people that I can tell they're just trying to scam me, I just sold, so it was like a guitar, or no, it was like a mic splitter or something for the band thing. I don't know. In the listing, and nowhere in the listing did I say it had a power supply, and I had looked at others that didn't involve a power supply, didn't even know it came with a power supply ever. It was just photographed by itself. There was no mention of power supply, and when they got it, they said, this didn't come with power supply, I want a refund immediately. And I said, well, if you would like to return it, because the listing doesn't include a power supply anywhere in there. Did I say there was a power supply? You didn't ask me if there was a power supply. If you look at a picture of something and you want something that goes with it and it doesn't say it anywhere on the listing or see it in the pictures, you would assume they would ask. So I just said, well, if you would like to return it. And he goes, well, I need your address. And I said, well, you need to go to eBay, and they have a return system, and you put in for a return, and then I accept it, and then you get a link to the return slip. And he was just nasty. And it's like, I kind of felt like with him, he just got the wrong thing and he was just mad about it or something. I don't know. But I blocked him because, like, if you can't read a listing, then I don't want you buying from me again. And that's your prerogative. That would be like if you had a brick and mortar store and you had someone come in and start yelling at you because they bought something and they didn't look it over when they pulled it off the shelf, and now they're mad because there's no power supply when there wasn't one to begin with. The next time they came into your shop, you'd be like, bye, like, I'm not dealing with you again. You were very rude the last time you were here. So that's kind of how I treat it. And not everybody agrees with that, but that's how I treat it. Because when I get a return or a case opened against me on whatever platform, I treat it fairly. Like if I made a mistake and I missed a stain or missed a rip or whatever, I'm sorry that happened, and you're welcome to return it. And usually the people that are trying to scam you, and if they say, well, I got the cookie jar, but it's broken. Okay, I want to see some pictures of the broken cookie jar and like what the box looked like when you got it. And then if you never hear from them again, either one, they don't care and they're just going to move on. Or number two, they were full of it and they were just looking for a free cookie jar because they want their money back. So you just kind of got to feel it out. And I just feel like as I've done this for 20 plus years now, you really get a feeling for it. And I know that sounds weird, but we're all connected with this energy. And I just feel that when you deal with someone like that, you can just feel if they're being honest or not. I got the quilt and it had a big rip in it. Can you send me a picture? They immediately send a picture and you're like, oh my gosh. And then you go look at the listing and sure enough, you can see that spot there that you didn't even see before because you were in a hurry when you were listing. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I will just refund you. You can just keep it. And 9 times out of 10, they'll go, well, you don't have to give me all the money back if you want me to keep it. Or they'll just say, I really don't want it anymore. I'm just going to return it. Okay, great. Return it. But you can also feel when those people are, they're just like, this was the wrong color, or you didn't tell me that it only had one zipper, or, just something ridiculous. And then you get it back and it's obviously been worn. It's got like pit stains or a rip, or, it's dirty, or the tags have been taken off of it. And then you just block that person and you move on. I mean, you can fret about it and get mad about it and how dare they, and I'm going to get back at no, don't do any of that. Like, just block them and move on. Take your losses. Another thing with customer service and returns is if you are reselling and say you sold a jacket for $50 and then you went and spent that $50 before that person approved their purchase, or if it's like eBay where they don't really have to leave a review, but make sure they get it and it's been like a couple days or a week or whatever, make sure they're not going to open a return on you, and you go spend that $50 and then they say, hey, I didn't like the jacket, or I'm going to return it or whatever. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I already spent that $50. Don't do that. You're not running a business. That's just really, really poor customer service. And eventually, if you do that, you're going to get knocked off of those platforms and you won't be able to resell anymore. So you hang on to that money, especially if it's a higher dollar item. Like, I've sold things for like $200 or $300, and you just sit and wait and go, God, I hope they get it. I hope they like it. I hope it didn't get broken. I hope, and then if they are like, well, I'm going to return that $150 coat because, it's not what I wanted, or I tried it on, it's the wrong size, or, there was a seam that was messed up and I don't want it anymore. Then you have that $150 to give back to them. It's not really an issue with Poshmark because they hold the money until that's approved. But you just have to remember that. Run this like a business. You keep all that money in an account. And so if something like that happened, it is no big deal for you to give that $150 refund. Yeah, so the whole thing with customer service is just be a good person, and most of the time you're going to get good people coming back to you. You'd think that, okay, well, I'm selling online, so I don't have to deal with the people, but you really do. It's a lot less than if you had a brick and mortar and you had people coming and going out of your store all the time. But you definitely have to deal with customer service with this. And, that also includes them asking questions beforehand. Like, hey, do these jeans have any stretch? How wide are the cuffs? Can you measure that hat for me? Because I'm not sure if it'll fit me. Does that, can you measure that belt for every, belt loop that it has? You just like, sometimes it's ridiculous. And I'm definitely guilty for not always answering questions, but it is important to be involved in that part of it too. So yeah, so I guess I will just leave you with that. Be good and good will come back to you. It's all about attitude. I've gotten to the point where I can literally like be going through my inventory and like pick something up and go, oh wow, I've had that for a while. And it's just like that little bit of energy that I give it. And the next day or that afternoon or whatever, it sells. And I'm just in my head, I'm just like, yep. Yep. And if you believe that, that's great. I totally do. And it works. And it's not like I'm down there in my inventory. I say down there because it's down in my garage, which is below me right now. But I don't go down there and just like pick up everything. Oh, I hope this sells. This better sell. It's just like this natural thing that happens where I'm just like, oh, this tank top is so cute. Oh, I wonder if it's gonna sell. And then it sells. And it's like, oh, okay. Little snippets of, attracting that or whatever. And like I said, if you believe that, great. If you don't, fine. But I totally do. And it just makes my job all that more fun. So have a great day. Like and subscribe. And I will chat with you soon. Bye.